Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Hey, today we're going to get down on the Yamaha 250 MX project. We've got a few things we need to finish up before we can start welding things in. We need the right side tube. We've got to go ahead and bend that one and fit it. We've got to get the gussets made for both sides. We've got to get the threaded inserts for the upper shock bolts made and fitted to the gussets. What I'd like to do is be able to get to a mocked up stage so we can kind of see how the project is going to look like, see what it's going to look like, and see what we need to tweak. And once we get it to that point, we can kind of tell if we need to make any adjustments or not. So let's get over here on the lathe, and we'll start with the threaded inserts for the upper shock mounts. Okay, let's see about our gusseting here. Just get some cardboard in here and kind of draw this line. And I'm actually going to increase that a little bit. I'm going to draw a line here on the back side too to kind of show it. But I'll probably go about halfway, and that'll weld to the back side and the front side. And I'll be using this, this is 3/4 DOM tubing. This will be tapped for a 10 millimeter 125. And this is the pivot point of my shock. When we bent the tube, it was, the shock itself should go down here. So, on this thing, all I'll do is I'll just set this right here, and the gusset will actually come down further, so this will be at my point for the bolt tie down, or the bolt down area. So we'll go over and finish kind of drawing that out. And then when we get over here at the bench, we can just kind of fill this in. And like I say, we're going to increase this width just a little bit here. It's not quite centered here. It doesn't look quite as right. Okay, so I think that's kind of where we'll be at. I'll cut one and see what the fit looks like. And this here will, it'll actually probably be 2 pieces. And we'll put them together. I don't know. We'll see. See if I can get it cut in 1 piece. The only thing is I'm going to have to hole saw this to get that out. That's no problem. So let's transfer that to some metal and see what it looks like. Okay. Go over and look at it. I should be able to get all 4 gussets made out of this amount of metal. So I'm just going to go ahead and spread some Dicom on it, and just its layout fluid, and then we'll go ahead and draw it out on there and cut them. Okay, well that's drying. Let's get our other side bent, hopefully. I think we're good. 42.5 degrees. That's about right. So this is the one for this side. Let's see, it goes that way. Still got to trim it. Actually, well, I think it does go this way. Yeah, I left it long so I could put the bird mouth in, or fish mouth, whatever you want to call it. So I've got to cut this piece here off. I think that's for the oil tank or the muffler, one or the other. Got to get rid of that because the other, it's going to go right here, kind of where it is. This one sets up here. So I guess we'll go back over and draw out our gussets. Okay, getting 2 out of each one. It's kind of what I was hoping. Alright, now's the time to drill the holes while we still have something that'll square up with the vise. So I think I'm lined up there. And we'll drill it pretty slow. This is where the upper mount for the shocks will locate. Okay, there's our gussets. There'll be two on each side, and the insert will go in between, and then it'll be boxed in here. Let's go over and take a look at it on the bike. Okay, these will go, let's see, like that. Only you'll have one on the inside of the tube and one on the outside. We'll have this already cut and in position so that we can keep them lined up, and we'll tack them in, and then we'll come along afterwards and box the bottom in. Okay, on to making the basically the nut, the upper shock support. I've got the first one made, and my intent was to use DOM tubing, and the stuff that I've got is just a little bit large, so I couldn't get a very good thread. But I've got the first one made up, and it will just it'll be something like this, and then welded and then boxed in underneath. I tried to make both of these into, in one, so hopefully I've got it drilled through enough to create the other one. And I've already got this one threaded, and part of the threads are in this one because they went through when I was doing this one here. But we'll go ahead and finish the threads out on this one, and then we'll cut it off. We'll just see how much. I just drilled that to 11:30 seconds, I think. Yeah, 11:30 seconds. That's the tap drill size for 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter 125. I think this old tap's starting to get a little dull. I've got a bottom tap that I'm going to run in afterwards, and it's much sharper than this one. Of course, it's this one here I think is just a hardware store tap. This is the bottom tap. This is a good tap. This is Wilda, I think. Yeah. So go to the bottom. Just run that back through there. Just to make sure we're all the way through. Looks good. Take kind of a measurement here. Looks like we're 5 inches to the top of the tube from the top of the weld at the Y here. And look at it about the same way. Okay, so that should be the top of our tube once we get our fish mouth in that one. Okay, we've about got it to fit here. Looks like I'm probably going to have to grind this seat mount a little bit, and I'll grind it off the bottom and then re-weld it when I'm done. Probably more to this tube, but looks like we're doing okay here. With this up here, and it looks just about where the top of this one is going to go. I've just got to work this fish mouth into it here. Okay, like I said, this is our approximate location of our our top shock bolt. And what I'm doing is I've made a rod here that just slips into the triple tree there, and I came back out here and I marked a little black mark on that right there at the X. And I want my other side to be approximately the same place. Let me get you on the tripod for that, because I haven't got the bar or the replacement tube ready yet. Okay, I'm working this end first to get my fish mouth, and I've got that located here at the 5-inch point. That's where the top of the tube will go from the top of the weld here. It's pretty close, but the main thing is we want to have our shocks in about the same position. And this is just my way of doing it. And otherwise, you could make this, see, we're right on the mark there. It needs to go up a little bit, but I've still got to get this piece over here to fit. But you see what I mean? You want to fit one end first. This is the easiest end to fit here, and then get your other end in. But in the meantime, you've got to make sure that's where that needs to be. So like I say, I've got my little black mark there, and it's right on the line. So you just have to remember to not pull harder one time than the other. So I'm just trying to tighten, just to taut the line. That's all I'm trying to do. And that, I think, has given me a pretty good location for that. So I'll just continue to work on this end to get it to fit in there, because I think that I've got this end worked enough to get that location for me. You know, believe me, working this end first is a lot easier than this end, because if you do this one and then try to get this to slide over your tube, you're going to have a difficult time. So this is the best way to go. But once you get it to fit here, and you get it in your approximate location here, then you've got to finesse this end here. So that's what we'll continue to do. relieve that seat bracket a little bit because we're real close here. Okay, I think we've got a fit here. And we're just about right on there, on our mark. I can probably tweak that a little bit and get it better. Same there. And these will actually tilt out just a little bit. I think they're just about in the position they'll be in. And then, like I said, the gussets will go on like this. One on the inside, one on the outside. And the nut for your shocks will go right in there. This is basically the location of that. I came up with that when I was setting the 40 degrees from here to, actually from the shock side to the swing arm side. So I think we're getting to the point where we need to start tacking some stuff up so we can see what the suspension travel is going to be as far as the rear end, you know, whether we're going to hit the fender or something like that here. And of course, all the same stuff will need to be done to the front. It's all in good time. But pretty happy with that so far. This is just a gee whiz, kind of a pretty close thing. It's, you know, I just machined a piece of coal roll here that would go down into the tube and be tight, and then put a little screw in the top of it to hold my string. And that just gives us an approximate location, you know, to try to keep them equal on both sides. At least we've got a reference here. Okay guys, we've got it mocked up here. The brackets aren't completely straight, but we'll take care of that when we tack them in. Still maintaining my 40 degrees, and the other side you can't really check because it's I've got the spring off of it, but everything's looking like it ought to be okay. Like I say, we'll be putting a support in probably right here, and maybe another one. Oops, I just noticed that thing kind of moved. Okay, right there. And probably another one, I don't know, probably like this. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to think about it. But these are looking pretty good. I think you can, let me get a light. I think you can see up in there. See our bushing here, and that'll be welded around on this side and the other. And I've got kind of a short bolt in there. I have a bolt that goes all the way through. And the way we're looking at it right now, looks like I need to kick this one in just a little bit. The other side is looking pretty good. All that stuff that we need to line up as we go, as we start tacking. But really, probably the hardest part is getting all your fish mouth right and your tubing bent right. That's kind of the hardest part. I mean, none of it's easy, but you know, it's just, if you want to pursue this kind of thing, you've got to get in there and do it. And you know, you just know you're going to make some mistakes. So you just do the best you can. When you make a mistake, you go back and fix it. Okay, guys, there you have it. The Yamaha 250 MX project is starting to take shape. We can kind of see where we're going now. We've got the shocks mocked up. That's kind of where we wanted to end up today, or that's where I wanted to end up. And I just noticed I've got the gussets on backwards, either this side or the other. Actually, it'll be that side is, I think. I've got the sharp end forward here and back there. But hey, that's the kind of thing that we need to just, once we get it mocked up, we can sit back, look at things. You know, when you're close trying to get everything assembled, you're not seeing the trees for the forest sometimes. So this will give us an opportunity to kind of sit back and look at things and do any tweaking that we need to do before we start spot welding in. And we'll be doing that again probably once we start spot welding, because at that point we'll be able to pull the other shock spring off and we'll be able to completely bottom out the suspension, see where we're at, see if the fender is going to contact the tire. That's the kind of the thing we need to look for on this kind of a project. You know, if the suspension bottoms out hard like that while you're riding it, if it's on the front, it's going to cause you to probably flip over the handlebars, and in the back, you're just going to tear a bunch of stuff up. So we need to make sure that our travel is unimpeded and everything is in good shape when it's completely compressed. So that's kind of our goal for the next video. But we will be getting things tacked in. Not sure if we'll start welding or not. We'll just see how things go. But once we get to that point, we're going to kind of focus on the front end, and everything there that we've done here, we're going to have to do there. All the same checks and balances. I'm not sure what it's going to take to get everything assembled yet. It's just all kind of conjecture, and it's just a vision for me. This whole project is about having fun. You know, we just don't need to get serious about this stuff. You know, it's fun. That's all it is. So we're going to continue to do this, and we're going to continue to have fun. And you know, I'm just trying to show what you can do with some spare parts from another bike, a little bit of cutting, grinding, welding, machine work. I realize a lot of folks don't have that kind of equipment, but I've done stuff like this with a bench grinder and a drill press. You know, obviously you're going to need something to bend tubing with, but to be quite honest, years ago I bent tubing by cramming sand in it and bending it in a vise. And you can do that. Now it's got to be pretty thick wall stuff, kind of like this, the DOM tubing. But there are ways. But there again, you you know, it's just about fun. So let's get in there, have fun. Let's get this thing tacked up next time and see where our suspension is. And then we can proceed with there. So hey, thanks for going along on the ride. And we'll see you next video.